Dr. the Honorable Kedrick Pickering, Deputy Premier and Minister of Natural Resources and Labor. Honorable Myron V. Walwyn, Minister of Education and Culture. Mr. Marvin Blyden, Chairman of the VI Festival and Fairs Committee. Mr. Rupert Vanterpool, Chairman of the Virgin Gorda Festival Committee. And Mr. Vern Wheatley for the Fisherman Jamboree, Chairman and PR, I think. Good afternoon. My name is Lynette Harrigan, Marketing Manager of the BVI Tourist Board. I want to say thank you to BVI Press Corps and everyone here this afternoon for joining us here on our sister island to talk about two very important upcoming events. I also thank my staff here, Meslin, for being here today, and also the Virgin Gorda office for helping spearhead this event this afternoon. I know time is limited and it's a short week, so we are going to get into the meat of the matter of why we are here. We'd like to, of course, first to call on Dr. the Honorable Kedrick Pickering to say a few words about, especially when it comes to the Fisherman Jamboree, which falls under his ministry, and I'm sure something about the Virgin Gorda Festival Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynette. Minister Walwyn, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to each and every one. I'm here to give my full-hearted support not only to the Virgin Islands Festival and Fairs Committee, but more specifically to ensure that it is very obvious that the government of the Virgin Islands is serious about its commitment to the fishing industry. I had a recent fishermen's conference held in Purcell Estate Community Center 2 weeks ago. And one of the things I did was to emphasize the fishermen, the importance of the sports fishing industry to the BVI. And in fact, what I attempted to do there was to ensure that the fishermen understand that they must take ownership of the sport fishing industry. For too long, sport fishing seemed to have been separate and apart from the normal fishing industry. And most fishermen, when they think about sport fishing, they think about, you know, somebody with a rich boat taking out visitors to go on fishing. And what I was trying to emphasize to them is that, in fact, sport fishing simply means a person who wants to go fishing for recreational purposes. So even somebody who has a small boat and does bottom fishing just off the reef there can, in fact, be involved in sport fishing. All they have to do is have the boat presentable, secure, safe, because they're the ones who know fishing. And then the more advanced type of fishermen who want to go out in the deep and fish for the pelagics and bigger fish is a different industry, but to get a different situation, but to get them to understand and appreciate more than anything else that sport fishing is something that they as fishermen must be able to be a part of and not leave for someone else. With a specific reference to the Wahoo tournament that is held annually here in Virgin Gorda, I think it is fair to say that I've attended most of them for at least the last 10 years since its inception. I can't remember how long it's been incepted, but I have missed any. Well, certainly for the last 10 years, I don't think I've missed any of them, because it is something that have my own personal support, and more than that, now it has my support as the minister responsible for the subject of the natural resources and the fishing industry. And I think that we're well on our way now to encourage this industry even more, and to ensure that the fishermen understand that even for the recreational purposes now, when the fish are caught, they no longer have to be concerned about the marketing aspect of it, because the fishing complex is now equipped and ready to accept any fish and any amount of fish that is available for sale. So on the weekend of the Wahoo tournament, the fishermen who go out don't have to worry about bringing in excess amount of fish, because the fishing complex will take that fish and will have it ready for market. So I want to encourage each and everyone who are involved with the fishing industry to be a part of sport fishing and to once again encourage the association here in Virgin Gorda to go from bigger to better things in building the sports fishing industry, because as I see it from where I sit now, it is almost unlimited in its potential. So thank you for having me, and once again, the encouragement stands from where I sit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Pickering. And one of the things we do at the BVI Tourist Board is definitely promote sports fishing, because it's one of our niche market and a growing market as well. And supporting the Fisherman Jamboree as well as the Virgin Gorda Festival is something that the BVI Tourist Board is very keen on. We are both platinum sponsors of both the event, and we do market and promote these events, not only here in the BVI, but also abroad. We'd also like to call now on Honorable Myron V. Volwin, Minister of Education and Culture, whose portfolio the Virgin Gorda Festival and Fairs Committee falls. Honorable Volwin.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Chair Lady, Acting Premier and Minister of Natural Resources and Labour, Chairman of the Virgin Islands Festival and Fairs Committee, Mr. Marvin Blyden, Chairman of the Virgin Gorda Festival Committee, Mr. Rupert Vanterpool, subcommittee members, members of the media, and festival supporters, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
The theme for this year's activity is Welcome to our festivity, as we showcase accountability through the cultural eyes of transparency for 2013 in VG. Now, that theme says quite a bit about the importance for us to be responsible in our planning of festival. Festival remains an opportunity to showcase our culture to visitors, and more importantly, reinforce the same to our residents and youth. While we do this, it is important that we are held accountable for the resources that are spent during these activities, and I'm glad to see the Planning Committee embracing this responsibility so publicly. This year's slogan is Revisiting Our Cultural Scene for VG Festival 2013. The 2013 Virgin Gorda Easter Festival will be named in honor of a man that was very committed to the social and cultural development of Virgin Gorda. Mr. Darwin George passed away last year, but his legacy will remain with us. Mr. George was an active member of Lions Club, and for many years was part of the driving force that organized the Easter Festival. We hope that the honoring of Mr. George by naming this village in his honor brings a bit of comfort to his loved ones, that he was appreciated in this community, and I also hope it inspires our young residents to learn about his life and make similar contributions to our communities. Our festival celebrations throughout our islands is a time of significant social and economic activity. As Minister responsible for culture, I understand the value of these fairs to our economy, but also to the preservation of the history and culture of the Virgin Islands. As we progress as a society, I believe that these fairs and festivals become even more vital in grounding us in our identity as a people. We see our young people being exposed to all manner of cultures, and in this global village, we cannot avoid that. But as a government, we remain committed to ensuring the preservation of the Virgin Islands identity at every opportunity given. As I recently learned from an account by one of Virgin Gorda matriarchs, Miss Bernie Sprav, Virgin Gorda's very own, the late Honorable Robinson O'Neill took it upon himself to begin the organization of festival activities for the island. Similarly to other festivals in St. Thomas and Tortola, he saw it as an opportunity for Virgin Islanders living abroad to return home to visit with family and friends, but also to get a taste and listen to the best of Virgin Islands culture, and so the Easter Festival was formed. Just as they do today, our festivals provide opportunities for persons gifted in the arts to showcase their talents and skills to the wider community. In the early years, it was the Fungi Band, the Poop Sax, with Theodore and Eugene Stephen, Hugh Harrigan, Gordon Smith, and Aubrey Levens, along with the senior Rupert Buck Vanterpool, giving revelers music to dance. Today, we have young talent from the Razor Blades coming to maintain the distinctive sound of Virgin Islands Fungi music, along with High Voltage, and we can never forget Leon and the Hot Shots. Where we had the Vibrations and Caribbean Ecstasy, today we have Phase 2, Enchantment, and I see Caribbean Ecstasy is still entertaining our fans. I will not go through all of the events for this year's Easter Festival, but I want to encourage the public to come out to as many of the activities as possible. We've already had a few happenings to get persons in the mindset for festival. Miss Gorgeous has already been crowned, and I want to commend Miss Wanda K. Johnson for her triumph as Miss Gorgeous 2013. We also had a taste of the Calypso competition with the Calypso Review, so I expect the performances will be at an even higher standard with topical commentary in each entry. From March 23rd to April 1st, we will have numerous activities, live bands, a Coney Island, pageants, and of course the Monday Parade to revisit our cultural scene during the Virgin Gorda Festival 2013. And I look forward to seeing as many residents as possible come out and participate. In all of our festivals, it's a time that we get a chance to catch up with family and friends. And for those of you residing outside of Virgin Gorda, it's a chance for us to spend a few days on that sister island. So I want to encourage all our residents from Adigada to Just Van Dyke to come out and let's enjoy a safe and lively Easter festival. Before I go, I want to commend the chairman of the Virgin Islands Festival Affairs Committee, Mr. Marvin Embley Blyden, and his team for their efforts in spearheading all our festivals and their related activities. Commendations should also go to the chair of the Virgin Gorda Subcommittee, Mr. Rupert Vanterpool. I will continue to give the VI Festival Affairs Committee and all its subcommittees my support whenever I can. I want to encourage them to continue to build the public's trust. I was pleased to receive the financial reports for the August Festival on time last September, which we were able to lay in the House of Assembly. I expect that Chairman Blyden will be working closely with the Virgin Gorda Festival Committee to ensure timely preparation of this festival's financials so that the overall report can be laid in the House of Assembly this year in a similar timely fashion. As we create a culture of excellence even in our festivals and our fairs, it is my hope that all Virgin Islanders, we will continue to celebrate who we are, and I encourage those that have come to live among us to join in and learn more about our culture. Thank you all, and may God bless these Virgin Islands. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Walwyn, for those inspiring and encouraging words. I would like to now call on Chairman of the Virgin Islands Festival and Fairs Committee, Mr. Marvin Blyden.
Good afternoon, everyone. I recognize the protocol already being established. The Minister and myself have been attending most of the events in Virgin Gorda. So when I heard him start speaking, I realized that there's nothing much for me to say because most of the things that he said, I had them to say. Nevertheless, I want to thank you all for coming. I acknowledge that the media is here, and without the media, we could do all the work behind the scene, but if the media is not here to get information out for us, it will be in vain. So we thank the media for being here. The Virgin Gorda Festival, as we know, is a traditional cultural event in these islands. It was first organized back in the 1960s, and today it is one of the major events residents and visitors of Virgin Gorda alike look forward to. It is a time for families and friends to get together and socialize. And over the years, I have seen a lot of families who have been abroad make home for festival and socialize. Socializing is the key at that time of the year. As chairman of the Virgin Island Festival and Fair Committee, I am very pleased with the planned activities for this year's Easter Festival, which you will hear about shortly. Under the capable chairmanship of Mr. Rupert Vanterpool Jr., I anticipate that this year's festival will be a huge success. I have been working very closely with the Festival and Fair Committee in Virgin Gorda and with Mr. Vanterpool, and I am very pleased with the amount of work that they are being put into festival. I know that the hard work will pay off. But I want to thank you for stepping up to the plate at this time when the minister acknowledged that you was one who was in the package of doing a good job. I want to thank you for that. I would like to encourage everyone, residents and visitors, as the minister have already said, That's something we always want to make sure. The events sometimes do not go off like how we expected it to, but we do expect everyone to try and come out and support us. With you coming out and supporting us could only make it a lot better, because if you don't get the support, we are back to square one. I will also like to convey regrets of the Director of Culture not being able to be here. She would have liked to be here, but because of other activities, she couldn't make it. Also, on behalf of the Virgin Island Festival Fair Committee, I wish everyone an enjoyable Festival 2013. I thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Rupert Vanterpool Jr., hardworking. We've been working together for the past few weeks, and I have to say he's one of those persons whenever you call him, make sure he's answering his phone. If you miss it, he'll call you right back. And it's always a pleasure working with you. Great choice for the Virgin Gorda Festival. And we'll call on him now to give you a little bit of the meat of what to expect during festival weekend. I know he's very excited with his lineup and all the work that him and the committee has been putting together to make this happen. It's going to be a great event, sold out, lots of people coming, and we're doing a lot of pushing on this. St. Thomas, Puerto Rico, US, social media. We have been pushing this Virgin Gorda Festival and as well as the Fisherman Jamboree. Mr. Vanterpool, come and tell us a little bit of what to expect for festival weekend.
Good afternoon, everyone. I acknowledge the protocol set before me. We, the Virgin Gorda Easter Festival Subcommittee, has promised an eventful and exciting Easter Festival. The minister and the VI chairman already explained how exciting it will be, but I'm going to talk about what we are providing or will be having for Easter Festival this year. In each one of our packages, we do have a lineup, but I'm just going to go and cover a little bit more of the lineup with you. On Saturday, March 23rd, is Miss Easter Festival pageant, which we decided this year we will have it in the Darwin George Festival Village versus in the community center. We decided we want to bring back tradition, so therefore we decided to put it in the village. On Thursday, March 28th is the opening of Coney Island. And then we get straight into the meat of our Easter Festival. On Saturday, March 30th, Virgin Gorda Cultural Food Fair, which starts at 9 o'clock, which will be held at the usual location, which is across from the fire station. This year we have 10 booths and promise to be really excited with a lot of local music. We have two Fungi bands, which is a Razor Blades and Liana Hotshot will be entertaining us. Then we have the opening of the village, which is slated for 6 p.m. Our entertainment for this evening will be Denise Saucy Belfont, Tian Winters, who is a soca monarch for Antigua, and then we have local bands, which is VI Showtime Band, as well as Virgin Gorda's very own Session Reloaded, along with Lashing Dogs. The DJ for that evening will be DJ Wiz. On Sunday, March 31st, we have Wet Fete, which is sponsored by Caribbean Cellars, which starts at 12 p.m. It will be held on St. Thomas Bay. Then the festivity commences at the village, where we have the 2013 Calypso Calypso show, which is slated to start at 8 p.m. After the Calypso show, we have some entertainment by local artists. As well, we go into our main act, which is Bunji Garland, featuring Faye-Ann Loins with a silent band. Then we continue with Pumpa and the unit, and then we go straight into Juve, which is sponsored by Speedies, and the band for this event is New Vibe, or Sugar Band, as we all know it as. On Monday is our grand parade, which is starting from the festival. It's starting from Dixie's parking lot and goes straight up to the festival village. At 6 p.m. to midnight, we have live entertainment in the village, which will be New Vibe, Sugar Band, Caribbean Ecstasy, and Showtime Band featuring Boss. I'd like to take the opportunity right now to acknowledge our sponsors for this event, which is Ministry of Education and Culture, BVI Tourist Board, Rosewood Little Dix Bay, Speedies, Bucks Wholesale, Rotown Wholesale, Caribbean Sellers, just to name a few. I'd also like to acknowledge my committee for all the hard work we've been doing over the last 3 months, which is my co-chair is Chantel Taylor, our treasurer is Vicky Felician, our PRO and secretary is Jarrell George, our village co-chair, our village is Sasha Flax, our pageant is Christine Paralon, our parade is Gloria George, as well as our food fair, which is headed by Wendy Parker Leonard. I promise that this festival should be very exciting, and I hope you guys all come out and enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vanterpool, for that wonderful lineup. I know it's a lot of hard work getting artists here, and when you're competing, especially with other parts of the Caribbean and the world. As you know, Virgin Gorda, when we do it big, so it's not just one event happening. And the Saturday night, that sounds like a night when no sleeping whatsoever. You just line up, you're going straight until Sunday morning. And then we also have the Fisherman Jamboree, which in itself is another huge event. So we're going to call on Vern now to tell us a little bit about that, and tell us all about the other things that's happening during the Fisherman Jamboree. It's not just fishing, but other events that take place during around this particular event as well. Mr. Wheatley.
I recognize protocol already established. Let's go fishing. Now, the Wahoo Madness 2013 is the 17th year since it started. And it started mainly from a few guys getting together, putting on a fishing tournament. Now, the thing about it is a Wahoo, one of the most sought after sport fishing on demand. When you land a Wahoo, you're in big league. It's a very challenging fish, no matter the size. You don't just hook it and bring it in. It's going, you gotta fight. This year's event, in addition to the festivities, we're gonna have a registration on the Friday afternoon at 6 p.m. at Fisher's Cove. And the following day, which is the Saturday the 30th and the 31st, would be the actual days of fishing. Lines in is usually like 8 a.m. in the morning, lines out at 4 p.m. Our weigh-in takes place at 5 p.m. at Dockside. In addition to that, there's going to be entertainment on both days. We have some excitement remote control boat entertainment, along as DJ music, which is going to be taking place from around as early as 2 p.m. I think, straight through. In terms of the rods, the entry fee is $400 per 4 rods, and $100 per extra rod, maximum 6. So you can't go over 6 rods. This event is also in line with the International Game Fishing Association rules and regulation, which is international standard. And we have people who's inquire about this tournament year round. Why? Because they know who's into sport fishing, know what it is to hook a Wahoo. And when they come here for event, time like an Easter, when you have an Easter festival going on and there's a tournament, it's perfect for them. I remember we had one guy from Colorado, actually came on a vacation, and then he learned about the tournament. He hired a boat and he decided he's going into this tournament. And another guy from Canada too, who heard it through a friend, and they came down. That's how interesting it is to these guys who's into fishing. But most importantly is our own local fishermen. And I concur with what Minister Pickering said in terms of getting our people involved in the sport fishing. It's no longer just a fun thing, you know. It's a serious business. These fishes you see here are on demand in any hotel and restaurant now. It's big business, and we have to take advantage. The fact that we have some of the most fishing grounds in our waters is good reason for us to utilize it. The areas in which the tournament would be fished, we have the North Drop, the South Drop, the wreck off Anegada, and the Seamount. And those are the areas in which most of our migratory species come, particularly during this time of the year, when the wahoo is the one that's would be reigning. Again, we're going to have boats from, we have a registrant from St. Martin, St. Thomas, Puerto Rico, and our local boats here. I think one year we had like 21 boats in the tournament, which was the largest number we ever had. And it was a big event. And I'm not sure how much we would be having this year, but I'm sure we're going to be having a good number as well. In addition, we were pleased on our sponsor for this event. I mean, it ain't something that you really jump up and do on your own. It's a lot of work getting into it. And I have to acknowledge our sponsors for this. I'd like to do so now. The British Virgin Islands Tourist Board, Rotown Wholesale, Fisher's Cove, we have Rock Cafe, Ivory and Every Construction, and Dockside Bars. Again, I'm going to encourage everyone to come out and see for yourself the type of fishing activity that takes place here. It's a world-class event. If you go to one of the events, any other Caribbean island, once it's a sport fishing event, it's identical to what we have here. And it is something that we're going to continue encourage and will always do and make it a part of the festivities, because it's just another day having a good time during our Easter festival. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Wheatley. And now we have a few minutes. We'll open the floor for any questions that you might have for any of the panelists. Identify yourself and to who you would like to direct the question.
Malika McPherson, the Island Sun newspaper. My question is for Mr. Vanderpool. Last year, during the Calypso show, there was an international host, and he had to be changed during the program because of certain issues. Would you be able to say who the host is? Would it be another international person? And are you going to give guidelines to ensure that the same incident does not happen again?
Sure. Yes, we do have an international artist. It's going to be Rashidi out of St. Croix. And yes, we do have guidelines set for him, and he's really excited to come and join us this year. Thank you.
I'm Glover again from the BVI Beacon newspaper. Mr. Blyden, can you tell us how much Virgin Gorda Festival is costing this year?
How much Virgin Gorda Festival? Very interesting question. We will not know exactly how much it costs until it's finished, but we know how much money was budgeted for it.
How much was it?
$100,000.
But you won't know how much it will cost. Doesn't that give room for wild spending?
No, there's not going to be any wild spending, because so far Mr. Vanderpool and I are working very close together, and I have seen what he is doing. And based on choosing our artists and staying within the guidelines, everything is looking good.
Okay, and congratulations on getting your report set for last year. How soon do you think you'll submit a report for this one? for Virgin Gorda Festival?
Well, basically, when it comes to reports, like I said, a report shouldn't take that long to do. As soon as festival finish, within a month and a half, you should have a report.
Sean Rose, JTV News. Honorable Minister of Education and Culture, you have identified the level of support coming from the ministry in terms of rallying behind the Virgin Gorda Committee. Could you speak to the cash value in terms of assistance to the committee this year from the ministry? How much money are you giving?
I think the chairman just mentioned how much money was given to the.
He mentioned budgeted. He didn't say how much has been allocated thus far to help with the necessary.
$100,000. It came from the Ministry of Education and Culture.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm
Yes,
that.
yes, but certainly just to make sure that the media doesn't have any hopes of anything. When reports come out and are laid in the House of Assembly, like I spoke about, it comes as a package on all the festivals. So you would not be getting a report specifically on the Virgin Gorda Festival.
No, I just wanted to make sure that...
I just want to make sure they never have any false expectations.
No, I fully understand
Wonderful.
how the process goes.
Wonderful. Very good.
Horace Mills here from BK News. Minister have just mentioned the report. The last one generated a bit of concern within the committee here in BG and also across the territory. Is this of concern to you, and where do you see the committee going over the next year or so on in terms of the people we have selected?
Well, I feel very confident in the committee. Mr. Blyden, as I said today, and I said it before, did a wonderful job, in my opinion, as the chairman. We saw, I would call, an increase in transparency, accountability, certainly. I cannot recall in a very long time, I may be wrong, seeing a festival committee report laid so quickly. Yes, there's controversy in anything, but I believe Mr. Blyden wrote what he believed was the truth, and he has my support as minister.
Mr. Bountiful, I won't waste any time asking about late starts, because every festival we have the promises on late starts, but if you want, you can comment on that. But my other question is, how are you doing in terms of entries for parade?
For entries for parade, right now we have approximately 20 plus entries, and we're still working out other participants that want to join. I have 2 applications right now I need to submit to 2 individuals that are very interested in joining the parade this year.
And I think my last question, you're new to the committee and you're a new face. What are some of the challenges you're having so far in terms of organization?
Challenges, there's not much challenges because I'm a type of person that likes to reach out and ask a bunch of questions. So I've been liaisoning with Tourist Board, of course, as well as Blyden, as well as the Honorable, for guidance to ensure that what I am doing or what the committee is doing is in the guidelines to the laws of the BBI.
Mr. Vanderpool, can we talk a little more about the Calypso show? Because you know the VG Calypso show is usually one of the focal points, and you barely skimmed through it. You didn't give much details. Can we talk more about that?
The Calypso show is slated to start at 8 o'clock. We have 6 Calypsonians.
Would they be doing 2 songs?
They'll be, yes, they'll be doing 2 songs, 2 new songs. At the Calypso review we had on the 4th, the Calypsonian presented one of their songs. So we are getting the music out to the radios so we can start airing them. But we did have a Calypso review, which was a great success. And the Calypsonians are pretty ready for battle.
Yes, Mr. Vanderpool and probably Mr. Blyden, I'm not certain which of you. But on my way here, I saw a patient being rushed across the waters. What guarantee can you give people who will be coming here that if they should fall ill, there will be enough adequate medical facility and personnel in place to treat them? With
all the festival, once we have a function, we make sure that the Red Cross is there. They are the major setup of festival. You always see a booth with the Red Cross people, and the Red Cross take it to the next level if they need extra help.
About across the waters, that seems to be the major problem.
Basically, I just came up on one of the government boat, and I think if they have to use an exit, we will call for one of the government boat.
So you're pleased with the time that they take to travel?
That's correct.
Before you sit down, Mr. Blyden, I was talking with someone, and the criteria as far as the Calypsonians go, because we only have 6 this year in it, but I've been told that it has been changed where the 2 songs that would be qualified for Virgin Gorda won't be accepted in Tortola, and that may cause a problem. Is there any assistance from the government to the RT, the Calypsonians, to produce these songs? And was this information passed out early enough so the Calypsonians could have adjust themselves to this extra budget?
We went through that with the Calypsonian last year. We had a lot of meetings with them, and I really don't foresee no stumbling block in the way this year, because the Calypsonian, we help them across the road to get some special funds to do what they have to do. And we are trying to take Calypso show to a different level in the BVI. You can't take it to a different level coming and singing the same song. You won't feel good to know that you come from Wajingara, hear me singing one song, come Wotong singing another song. Those are for big international artists like Dextra and them who come and have a lot of albums in their computer show. A Calypso show is different.
Right.
What's
Ron Henry, Virgin News Online. There was a recent incident at a festival recently where an artist was billed and didn't show up. What kind of systems are being put in place to have headlining artists, which are usually the big draws for a lot of people turning up, guaranteed, or their places?
Well, I must be honest, things like that is really beyond our control. You hire somebody, it's just like you hire a worker, and one of your best day, the worker don't show up. But we are making all preparation to make sure that our funds come back to us if there's a deposit.
And so there's no guarantee at the moment that these headlining artists, these international artists will turn up?
Well, like everything else, somebody could take sick and because of something they don't show. But at the same time, we are putting things in place that if we send a deposit, we make sure that we get back our deposit.
How ready are you for this festival? It starts in a few days, more or less.
Based on Mr. Vanderpool and his team and how they relate to me, I believe they are very ready.
Thank you.
One more question. What do the Calypsonians win?
At a later date.
What's the prize?
At a later date, they will have that information.
Okay.
But Mr. Blyden, you know, with the grand prize, the Tortola Monarch, you know, there's a high bar here.
Well, we are trying to make sure that everything, the whole festival from Wajingara to Antigua is on one wavelength. But at the same time, we're not going out to whack to make sure that it's balanced at one point. So therefore, later on, we will know exactly.
Before you leave, Mr. Blyden, being a radio personality, I hear a lot of things. Now, over the years, we have festivals in East End, festival in Caribbean, festival in Virgin Gorda, and in Road Town. Do you think that would be make wise to try to scale it down where we have a good celebration instead of all of that celebrations?
Well, we are trying to scale it down. You have a valid point, because one of the things we have done is that we take, for example, this year in the Eastern area, you're going to see a children parade in the Eastern area.
What about people who are thinking about accommodation and transportation? So people are thinking about accommodation here on VG and transportation between the islands.
Well, Speedy at every year he put in an extra boat to make sure that people come back and forth. Accommodation, if the hotels and things are full, there's nothing we could do.
Well, we at the First Board, we are also pushing that as well, the accommodation as well as the extra ferry runs. We are doing a very good job of pushing us. Everyone would know, what time the boats are running and all the extra, runs that are going to be put on. I want to first of all say thank you for being here with us this afternoon, especially those of you who travel all the way from Tortola to be here. You will be hearing lots more about what's going on within the next few days leading up to the festival. And we hope to see each and every one of you here in Virgin Gorda celebrating the Easter Festival and also the Fisherman Jamboree, and also to the entire BVI and entire world to come out and join us here in Virgin Gorda for Easter Festival. Thank you.